just want to say, how are you doing? You know, he has such a heart of love for individuals and for the community. He'll tell you a little about who he is. Amazing, amazing cat. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Benjamin Fox. Yeah.
I think I just talked to him, right? All right. Always, in all ways, all amor eterno to all of you. Okay, all right? And that is eternal love. Eternal love. That's what I believe in. Okay? More than any other kind of movement or ideology, it's about amor with me, all right? I was born and raised here in San Francisco City, La Misión, right here. Started out in the old Army Street high-rise housing project, which no longer exists anymore. And just a little bit of history right now. There was an African-American community in the Mission District at one point. They got rid of the high-rise housing projects, and that is when full-force gentrification began in San Francisco, in the Mission District, Pearl Heights area as well, right? But, you know, yeah, I'm a writer. You know, sometimes I use intelligence, art, you know, all kinds of different acrobatics with my words, with these spider symbols, okay? But what I have come to realize about these words, they are empty without amor, okay? And that is love. That is love. You know, I have used different types of writing for different movement activities, okay, right? You know, I've used fiction, for example, to, you know, tell our story, right? To tell our story in a truer way than truth would try to tell it. You know, because truth tries to confine us many times into a certain political ideology or an economic status, right? Whereas with fiction, you could go into what I call pura neta. Pura neta is pure truth. And that includes, pure truth includes imagination. You know, right? Because this is all, you know, I'm going to be frank with you right now. I have been on this earth for 50 years, and I still do not know who I am. And if I depend on the spider symbols to tell me who I am, these words, what's going to happen is they're going to wrap me up into a web, and they are going to suck my blood, Holmes. Right? And, you know, the way I believe that I can actually do anything with these words is by offering and sharing amor with my words. And I can only say that because I have been involved in a lot of ugliness, and I have been involved with a lot of hate, and I have been involved with critiques of the social systems here in San Francisco, all right, specifically, right? I have been involved with all kinds of different activities because of my writing and because of my speaking. And you know what? It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all a bunch of bullshit if you can't embrace each other afterwards. Because what starts happening, I think you all know, is this. What starts happening is we start talking, we start building, but then ideologies many times take over or start interfering with our humanity. I want to give a shout out right now to Tiny and the crew and the family right over there. Because I'm going to tell you right now, like that movement right there, it's got like a real family, spiritual kind of love attached to it that is beyond these words. You know what I mean? And Teddy D was talking about it earlier. It's about a spirit. It's about an awakening that is happening, right? And so I wrote a little bit of something that I would like to share with you. I don't want to take too long here. And actually, this ain't my party. This is your party. So let me ask you all. What would you like me to to speak some things that I kind of prepared? Would you like me to read from books that I've written in the past? Would you like to ask me some questions? And I'll just tell you what I believe right off the top of my head. You know?
Read.
Okay, so read, okay, would you like me to read? Okay, I got 3 books. I got Mario Bushido. This is the Code of the Streets. 90s mass incarceration of Frisco City fictionalized. I got a book called Pura Neta. All right? Actually, what I'll do is, so Mario Bushido, this is the first book I got published a dozen years ago, right? And in this book, we got a character called Lobo, right? And so what I did in this book is I made the homeboys sick with it, because that's how we were. We were just sick with it. But we were sick with it, deep philosophers, right? And so what he talks about here is the philosophy of that time period, right? And this is an eternal kind of philosophy based on the reality that there is no structure in the universe. It's called vida loca, right? So I'll read, this is from the character Lobo, very short paragraph right here, and then we'll see Lobo in my second fiction book 20 years later. Okay, all right. So this is what he's thinking in his chapter. Vida loca, crazy life. The homeboy philosophy, my philosophy. Because it didn't make any sense to do the shit that I did. But it did make sense. It made me normal in a world where I had to fuck a motherfucker up to feel good inside. To be accepted by the locals. To keep my respect as a man. I had to get over on someone and make them feel like shit so that I could say I was a true street soldier. I couldn't justify or explain it. It went beyond justification. It went beyond the simplicity of an explanation. There was no explanation or theory that could satisfy the lust of la vida loca. All I knew is that I was there, and I had to do what I had to do to keep the little piece of the planet that was the barrio mine. Reality is what counted, and it is what was strong. The crazy life was reality, as real and genuine as the crazy death. All right, so I dedicated this book to my good brother. He was my blood brother, and he lived and died on the Mission Streets. His name was Jeff Boxiera, right? He was an OG penitentiary, just local, and a good brother. He knew that my brother had passed away. My brother was a street legend. I wrote this book. And then he started wanting to be involved with this book, Mario Bushido. And that individual's name that came to volunteer for a lot. We would just go do hella beautiful, sick with it stuff out on the streets, doing poetry at different places, speaking at different places, doing carnaval. That brother's name was Alex Nieto. And he was shot by the San Francisco Police Department 59 times in our barrio on top of Bernal Heights. Okay, right? And so this second book right here, Pura Neta, all right? This is a book about 2012. It's a fictional book, 2012 to 2014, all right? And it deals with the characters in this book 20 years later, right? And so check this out. Lobo, 20 years later now in this book, he's in La Pinta, Holmes, for life. He's in La Pinta for life. And so I'm going to read to you, right? You just heard him back in like 1992. And here he is in the year 2012. And he's in Quentin, right? And so a brother goes to go visit him, and he's like, hey man, don't you understand you're a pawn, right? You know, and this is Lobo's response. Of course I'm a fucking pawn. Lobo was upset at the stupid question that required him to confess the stupid answer. I'm the capital for one of the most profitable money-making institutions in modern history. The prisons. Man, before they used to have gente picking cotton or coffee or lettuce. But now they don't even need our muscles, Holmes. They just throw us in these cages where we play dominoes and spades while they cash in on our spirits. My actual body is their capital, their profits. I feed the guards, lawyers, and judges' children and educate them through college so they can then become the lawyers that lock all our asses up. Lobo laughed, his brown, bald head glistening with sweat. Come on, man. The California Prison Guard Union is the strongest prison union in the world. They ain't here to guard us from society. They're here to protect their investment. So, I'll just end with, this book, it helped me get through all of the, trauma and love that I needed to get through, having a good brother of mine being killed like that. But it really, I gotta say, after writing this and after having a struggle with a lot of these issues, I realized that truth, it depends on Descartes' idea, I think, therefore I am. And so we always try to base truth on this idea of intelligence, right? And so we're always trying to outsmart each other, outthink each other. And we all think we're hella smart because we're all thinking all the time. That's what they train you to fucking do, man. School tells you, think all the time, think all the time. The news tells you, think all the time, think all the time. And I realized that shit is a bunch of garbage, man. You know what? Look, you know what we need more of is listo love, man. This is my latest one. This is just a prototype right here, but this is the book that I'm working on right now because I've seen so much of the corruption and how it works, right? I've seen the district attorney and corrupt the coroner's office, and all of the politicians are in on it. All of the politicians are lying to our faces. You know what I mean? Yet then, once we start gaining steam and movement, and just to let you all know, the movement that we built for the brother Alex Nieto, it was called Amor for Alex. And note here, it became, from what I understand, and this is from my own research, it became the biggest movement in United States history to defend a Latino victim of a police killing. Right? Amor for Alex, okay? However, know what happens. Then you start getting ideologies and bullshit, etc. Corruption. The spider symbols. The spider symbols come and start sucking your blood, man. And you know what? I reflect back on and meditate on what really that term is supposed to mean. Amor for Alex. Amor for Alex. Amor for everyone. Amor eterno for everyone. That's what I believe. That's the best I got right here. Okay? Amor for everyone. Amor eterno. Gracias.